Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new, hey, I'm Jem, how you doing? Just shared a pep talk to parents about how to talk to children about disability, and then I just thought, why don't I do a pep talk for disabled students? Because going to school when you're a disabled student, obviously all kids find school, difficult, it's challenging, depending on who you are, like what kind of shit you have to go through. But actually, when you're disabled, you've got so much going on, and it is just like a here we go, what's it gonna be? And actually, when I think about school, there were so many things going on that I didn't really acknowledge at the time. Having to do everything, having to plan everything, having people around you all the time. So I thought I'd just have a little chat, really. I don't really know how it's gonna roll out, but let's just go for it. The first kind of thing I thought about when I was thinking about preparing for school was in the other video I said about, other children asking disabled kids, like, why are they like they are, or what disability have they got? And I guess the pep talk for a disabled student is your medical information is your medical information. Now, when you're at school, even teachers did this to me, where they asked me intrusive questions, and from a young age, you have to know your rights. And I know that sounds so intense, but it's okay not to answer questions about yourself. If it's not about school, if it's not about how you're doing your classes, fair enough if it's about how you're going to get from A to B, or, pain management, because, you've got things that need to be done at school. But if it's just someone being nosy, it's okay to say no. And I wish I'd have learnt that a long time ago, but I did get teachers asking very strange questions. So that's the first thing. And the second thing is, I mentioned it before, but you will get a lot of fuss. So if you're like me and you're part of the SENCO, which is in the UK, it's special educational needs, sometimes coordinating, I don't even know, but it's disability section of school anyway. And I used to have this meeting, I can't remember what it was called now, but you basically talked about your needs and what changes you were going to make, and I dreaded those. Because imagine parents' evening, but it's not just one teacher telling your parents how you're doing. It's a table full of different experts like a physio, an OT, your carer or teaching assistant or whoever, a teacher, and then an SEN person, and imagine 6 people all talking about you. No wonder I was shy as a kid. I mean, I don't know what happened when I got older. But that's a lot. That's a lot to take in. So definitely try and find a trusted person, whether that's a friend or whether that's an adult that that you can just be like, that was a lot. Just because I ended up crying a lot in those meetings, just because it was so overwhelming, everyone talking about me. So things it'd be Gemma's now using a knife and fork, I get it, that's what they had to do, but looking back, I found it really overwhelming doing that as well as school. There's all those little side things that you have to deal with. Things like looking at adaptations, making sure you can get to the toilet. These are all things that you have to navigate, as well as having friendships. And when your friends say, what did you do when that teacher pulled you out of your class, and you have to say, oh, I just had a look at the toilet. There's so many conversations that's really hard to explain. So, yeah, it feels so much when you're a kid, but sometimes you've got to do it and try and talk about your feelings if you can to someone who you trust, and that does make it feel a little bit better. And the last tip is just that for a lot of my academics, I felt like going to school was such a big thing, and I never really felt very clever. And it's such a shame, because I think the reason I felt like that was I was putting so much mental energy into, doing what I've just talked about, like getting around school, making friends, making sure that, I got on with everyone. Like, it's dog eat dog at school. So, academics for me was very low on the agenda. Don't get me wrong, like, I tried, but, like, I wasn't, like, an A-star student. And I just think I completely understand why I was like that. And I think if you're a person who you might struggle with your academics, or you can't concentrate on them, or you have a lot of pain and you have to like navigate rest times, and it's hard to do homework because you're tired from school all day, like, just give yourself a little bit of grace that things might take a little bit longer, and that's okay. Like, school as well is very much like work hard. You gotta put everything into it. But when you're disabled, you're probably using your 100%, which might be 60-70%, but that is your best. So don't like burn yourself out at the beginning of September because you want to prove yourself. That's another thing as well, because a lot of my teachers made adaptations in terms of, like, a lot of my classes, mostly in high school, were like upstairs and they moved them downstairs. I felt like I had to really try my best because they made an effort to make it accessible. But actually, I'm on a level playing. They were just moving it so that I could access class just like my friends could. Like, my friends didn't feel like they had to bloody try harder because they could get into the classroom. But it's that internalised ableism of like, I must try hard and I must do well. And then when I didn't get like A stars and A's, I was hard on myself. But I didn't really think about all the other things going on. But now as an adult, as I look back, I'm like, God, yeah, that was a lot. And I was also dealing with attitudes from teachers. I was dealing with, there's so many things, like, well, I've said it all, but, I don't know, I think when you get older, you just kind of realise all the other stuff that you have to deal with. So yeah, this is just a short video, just to kind of start the conversation about what it's like as a disabled student. And if you are interested in me talking a little bit more about it, because there's definitely so many stories, I can definitely share that. And I just want to say good luck if you do happen to be a young person watching this, and you can do it. And school is just, for me, it was just about enjoying it, or enjoying it as much as possible, and getting to know yourself. Especially when you're disabled, you're learning what you can and can't do. So just enjoy the ride as much as possible. And yeah, if you've got any questions about school or just growing up disabled, let me know in the comments and I'll try to answer as many as I can. But thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!